Tori, what's going on, girl?
Hi there.
How are you?
Good.
I think I want to kick the show off. You want to start with energy, but we keep it 100 on this show. And I'm going to start the show with a comment that I just read from Lucy, because I feel like it sets the tone. Is it just me, or do I feel like everything is falling apart? That is I looked at that right before we started, and I was like, yeah. And then the amount of news that we get minutes before this show starts, Tori.
I know.
I followed the news all day to get ready for this. And we're turning, and Michael Dean's like, oh yeah, one other awful thing. Tori, let's talk about something that's not awful, because we can't let, my dad used to say, don't let the bastards get you down. Have you ever heard that? My dad was General Patton, by the way.
Yeah. There's a great song, Don't Let the Bastards Get You Down. It's a great song.
Yeah, Tori, tell me something good going on in your world. While you're thinking about it, I'll tell you what's going on. Tomorrow is going to be, we're not going to be on because I will be in Minnesota at the 10,000 Laughs Comedy Festival, but I will post at 3 o'clock my interview with my girl, Tanya. She is a fascinating person. Tori, she's a comedian who I've worked with many times. She also has a PhD in physics, and she's hilarious. And she also revealed something, and I don't want to step on the interview, but just to give you a little incentive, she has a TBI, a traumatic brain injury that she recovered from. And she tells the story of how it happened. And it is, my mouth was agape. So you have to watch that interview with my girl, Tanya. Make sure to follow her. She is hilarious, and I love her to death. And she's performing all around town here in Denver all the time. But yeah, I'm excited to go to Minnesota, go back to Minnesota. I like it. Have you been up there?
I've been to Minneapolis.
That's in Minnesota.
And I loved it.
It's awesome.
It was a great city, like a great, great city.
And it's interesting because St. Paul is right across the bridge, or I don't know, and it's like such a different vibe. It really is. Like when you drive to St. Paul, because there used to be a comedy club called like the Comedy Farm or something, used to be over there. It's gone now, but it really is like Mayberry. It's like, it's like where Rose was from in Golden Girls.
St. Olaf's.
St. Olaf, shout out. I think, is that a real place? I think it is.
I think it is too.
Yes, Michael Dean, please look that up at your leisure. Tori, what you got going on for the rest, since this is technically our Friday show? Our Thursday Eve Friday show.
Thursday Eve. So I went to the show today, and I'd love to ask the chat. Michael Dean, we're asking, is St. Olaf, is that a real place?
I think it's OLAF. Olaf.
Yeah, St. Olaf. I think it is a real place. Okay, I just want to ask the chat and colleagues. We had on two women called, St. Olaf is real.
Yes.
We had on the show two women who started something called Maj Squad, and they are taking on Mahjong. And I cannot tell you how many friends of mine are on playing Mahjong.
I was going to say, is that game at the casino where you're always like, that's for high rollers? I don't know. I never know what it's for.
No, it's like it's a Chinese game from the 1800s with tiles. And it has caught on like wildfire with all the women these days. And there's, you play with a group of 4, and they have like communities. And you know me, I need more community. And so they showed me how to play. So if anyone knows how to play Mahjong, just write Mahjong or let me know. Oh, Julia wants to play, but I can't find a game near me. Yeah. And Michael Dean says Mitchell knows how to play. It's not that confusing. And I think I might go and join the Maj Squad. So I'd love to know if you guys are playing Mahjong. Gigi does.
Julia, let me just say this, Tori, while we're talking about it. Julia, if somebody in your area, if there's no game, start one, because I guarantee you there's at least 3 other people where you live that want to play and never thought about like, oh, maybe I could just start my own, because what do they say? If you build it, Tori, they will come.
Yeah. Do you want to know who said that in real life? Who's the voice? Did I tell you this? I think I did.
Tell me again.
Ed Harris.
Oh, it's so crazy because James Earl Jones gets credit for that. That's kind of in a Mandela effect.
Yeah, he was in the movie, but he Ed Harris whose wife plays the wife of Kevin Costner. He does the "if you build it, they will come." And it's kind of, ever since I heard it, I was kind of freaked out by that voice, but yeah.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is now when anytime I see a movie that involves a president and the president is being very presidential, it just takes me totally out of it because I think about our president now. You know, like when the asteroid was coming to hit the Earth and Deep Impact, and Morgan Freeman was like, he gave that speech like, you know, do not riot, do not loot. Let's be the people that we were on this planet. It's going to be bad. Now, I don't think about that with presidents. And I also, even with movies like Field of Dreams, I just think about it now in the internet age. Like there would be influencers there and there would be people like, this field sucks. God, the baseball. Yeah, some ghost came back. Got it, bro. I tried to get one to say the N-word on my TikTok. He wouldn't. It's
so true.
It's like I don't know. I wish it was kind of went back to like we didn't get input from everybody.
Yeah, I totally agree. I remember that line that goes, "Is this heaven?" And he goes, "No, it's Iowa." And I'm like, I wish life were like that, man. Simple.
Man. Yeah, very simple. All right, we are talking like we are sitting in two old rocking chairs in front of a Cracker Barrel. Yes. My wife won't let me play. She says I flirt with the waitress. All right, Tori. We got to get to the main story because Michael Dean kind of dropped the bomb on us and it's like showtime. So let's do this. All right. Michael Dean told us before the show that as a recent update that Donald Trump has decided to demolish the entire east wing of the White House. Tori. As a lifetime DC resident, as a political nerd and a political historian, and just a lover of all things politics, when you look at this picture, what do you see?
I see a metaphor for this country. It was built in 1902, the East Wing. It was updated in 1942. It's where President Obama would run with Bo, the dog. It's where the Reagans had their movie theater. It's where the military is allowed to come into the military offices are in the East Wing. It's where tourists first enter the White House. And I just want to let you know, guys, that our taxes pay for the White House, right? Like that's called the People's House for a reason. Congress could have gotten involved in this. They didn't. He just unilaterally did it and they kind of let him. And it's such a metaphor for what, it also has the First Lady's offices for what's happening of, I bam want to do this now. I crush American ideals. I take down things that were really held sacred in this country to put gold on top of it. I mean, you couldn't sum it up better than this image of that White House. And the White House is a symbol of strength and history. And to smash it to make a ballroom. Now, does it need updating? Yes, it really does. You guys, it does need updating, right? But to do this is it breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart. And he said he's not going to touch the East Wing. Now it's all coming down entirely by this weekend. So another reason we can't really trust what he says. And again, the ballroom is going to be this weird vision of sort of like this Putin-esque Kim Jong-un large scale monument to himself kind of thing. And it's horrific. And if you didn't know, the White House first burned down. Dolly Madison, while it was burning, saved the George Washington painting and ran out of there. And the preservation of the White House is so deeply embedded in America that to have this happen with unilaterally without anybody chiming in, as Michael Dean said, no historians, no preservationists, no one's there to make sure things are getting done correctly. So it's very, very, very sad. Very sad.
I just want to let that sit there for a second, Tori, because I thought that was beautifully said.
Thank
you. Beautifully said. We make a lot of jokes on the show, but that's that it is a metaphor for what is going on. This is what happens when everyone bends the knee at one time to an impulsive, unhinged, maniacal, power-hungry person. And when you don't push back, it's like if you had a boyfriend and you just kept letting him go and letting him go, and eventually he's like, "Baby, I took the top off of our house. I'm gonna make it a ranch style," and you're like, "You don't know how to do, but you didn't consult me on this. This is our property. Now it's gonna be great." I cannot believe that this is happening with nobody. I mean, the only analogy that I can give to it is this, and that is a strip club analogy. As I'm sure you thought you saw this coming. I'm not a strip club guy, but I really like to analyze the mentality of everybody working there. And if you, as an outsider, picture the United States, we're all one guy, and we go to a strip club. What's the name of the strip club, Tori?
Racy Racines.
Racy Racines, right there, right in the Florida Panhandle. I'm going to Racy Racines, and I embody all of America. When I walk up, it looks like a pretty solid establishment. They've got a sign, they've got parking, they've got even valets for high rollers. Everything looks on the up and up. They're two pretty serious bouncers. They pat me down a little bit harder than I want. They metal detect me, and I go, "Oh, this is some pretty serious. Like, this is pretty fortified. You know, I feel safe in here. This is an established business." But if I don't go in as a patron and I go in as a bartender and I look around, I'm like, "Oh, the other bartender's stealing off the top. A lot of these dancers have wild drug problems. A lot of the bouncers are actually working as low-level pimps for people that are willing to pay more money. Oh, this is basically a money laundering situation under the guise of a strip club." Once you see it from the inside, you realize you thought there were a ton of rules. You can't touch the dancers. You can't. But then you realize once you're inside, there are no rules.
Yeah.
Donald Trump realized there are no rules. You can say whatever you want. You want to disrespect John McCain? Have at it. You want to disrespect Obama? Go ahead. You want to have a tape leak of you using foul sexually assault tinged language to kick your presidency off? Cool. You want to let felons out? All right. You want to let out insurrectionists? Cool. No, there's never been any pushback. No one's ever questioned his decision making, even though he openly admits that he doesn't read. He has put people in positions. I think the last the last appointee to be the special counsel in the White House as of yesterday had to retire, rescind his application because leaked texts. He had things about like, "Yeah, I do have a little bit of a Nazi streak."
Oh yeah, a Nazi tattoo that he had to cover up, right?
Yes, yeah.
It's very strange that I mean, it's not strange, but you're right. It's no Republicans, no Democrat, no one. I mean, Congress is just useless. The Supreme Court is basically useless. So what we have is one giant executive branch with one guy running it. And when that happens, it's called authoritarianism. And that's what we're getting. So there's someone in the Senate right now doing an 18-hour speech trying to do filibuster to stop the authoritarianism. They're trying, but like, you're right. He learned that he can just get away with it. It will go down in history as I always say he is the aberration president, the one that stood out from all the others that didn't believe in democracy and did all he could to take it down. So it's,
I mean, you hope he's the aberration president.
Yeah, I know.
When have we ever gone backwards, Tor?
I know, but I really believe the midterms will show us this is unacceptable by the American people. You saw no kings. So I really hope that this is a one and done. I hate that we had him twice, but it's in our timeline, and I'm so sorry. So
you know what's weird, Tori, is not only did we have him twice, we had him then 4 years of normalcy, and as soon as Biden took office, the propaganda machine of he's old, he like, do you remember like how many people, some on our show, but Clips, Rogan, all those guys, He's so old. He stumbled going up Air Force One, but they won't show that. He said Iran when he meant to say Iraq. He's not fit to be president. Trump has had so many verbal gaffes, some funny. Tim Apple, obviously, everybody knows is my favorite one. But, you know, he clearly is showing symptoms of decline. And I don't hear any of that. I saw a book from Jake Tapper about Biden, but for 4 years in between the first and second presidency, all of these news outlets, including the liberal ones, like I said, Jake Tapper, CNN, everybody, he's old. He went up the stairs and Biden fell on his bike. Remember that clip?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that there aren't embarrassing clips of Trump that haven't been not allowed to get out? Do you think there aren't people around him that realize that this is a man that is struggling to put things together in a coherent manner? And I just wonder where all those people are now.
Yeah.
I don't hear from them now. I don't hear the constant drumbeat of just like, this can't happen. Our president is supposed to be be one of strength. I didn't hear any of that when he appointed Pete Hegseth as the head of the military. I hear a lot of barking about the military, about how we love our vets, but
yeah,
you don't care who runs them.
That's right. I just want to let you guys know about Pete Hegseth. There is a rumor going on in DC that his speech, the famous grandstanding of no more beardos, if you're fat, you have to leave, that he might not be long for that position, and how awful the military feel about Pete Hegseth. It did not go over well to many generals, to many admirals, to many people in the military. And I'm just letting you know, there's a rumor that there's a little bit of a thought about that. Whatever. I don't really care because nothing happens anyway. But they used to call Ronald Reagan Teflon Ron because nothing would affect him. It would slide right off. Teflon Don, to me, is the better saying, because this guy gets away with everything from all the branches. So yeah, it's not good. I'm tired. I'm very tired and stressed.
And we're not even a year in, Tori.
Yeah, I'm just so tired of it all. And that's what he says. What does he say? I love chaos, because we all get tired and he can get away with it. Because I don't want to fight everything. I can't. It's like, it's just.
Well, that's a personality type.
That's his strategy.
That's what I said when this whole thing was going on towards the end of our run at DBL. I was like, look, I know, like, his followers are like, yeah, get ready for the real man. I'm like, it's not even that. I just don't want to have to think about another person every other hour of my life.
Totally.
What I enjoyed about Joe, even Sleepy Joe, didn't have to think about him. Obama, I would go months before you go, hey, there's a president. He's in Iceland,
Totally.
And here it's just every single thing that happens. He's got a comment on the NFL kickoff rules. He's got a comment on Taylor Swift is a nasty woman. He's got a yeah. It's just, it is. It's catnip for his base, but the rest of us have to live here. And guess what, Tori? No one's living in the East Wing of the White House anymore. No, all right, girl, let's move on. Tori, we are moving on. And do you know who's helping us move on? Spider. That's who. Spider, my boy Vlad, Rad Vlad, and those guys over at Spider we've said it many times, and we will continue to shout it to is it the mountaintops or the rooftops?
I think you can do either. I think it's rooftops if you're in a city, but if you're in Nepal, it's the mountaintops.
All right. Well, we're in the city, so we're going to shout it to the rooftops. And Michael Dean, once you pop that phone number up there, Tori's going to read it. Tori, how about before you read it, let me, can I have a personal request? Can you read it like a very professional, but busy and a little bit annoyed? I've asked for the number again. Receptionist at the somewhere international, like a fancy place.
Yeah.
Like Zurich. Yes.
Bonjour. Ah, oui, ça va. Okay. Arrêtons. Attends, 720-545-3187, okay? Bien, bien, très bien. Oui,
Okay.
oui, Jacques.
Very well done. If you speak French, call Vlad. If you speak English, call Vlad. No matter what you speak, do yourself a favor and call Vlad and Tori. Vlad and those guys really helped inspire this this segment called Moving On. And Tori, what a lot of people are moving on from is the gore that they are finding on Instagram. I would gather that you, myself, and the colleagues knew nothing about this because I thought that, again, you think they're rules. I thought there were censorship, but apparently hundreds of Instagram accounts push graphic real life violence to millions, CBS finds. It goes on to say graphic and shocking content are often referred to as gore, and it remains easily accessible. Reels hosts a thriving gray market economy driven by graphic violence. And it's also got banned advertisers, gambling sites, crypto apps, porn agencies, and they avoid Meta's ad rules by paying graphic content pages to embed illicit promotions amongst the gore. And I'm just going to read this. Between February and April of 2025, more than 600 Instagram accounts that post real world violence packaged in a short form memes are viewed by millions, especially, we're talking about elementary school kids, Tori. And just tell me, what are your thoughts on this?
I'll be super honest. I've started to see them on my page, and it's like terrifying history, and it's like a car getting smashed or someone falling and dying and you watch the fall, or someone getting like beheaded and stuff. And it stops you because we're so used to like just scrolling, and then it thinks that I want more of that, so I get more of that because my eyes have stopped on it, I think we're all just getting really numb to
Do you not get the sensitive content warning?
No, I do not. Oh, I do get, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Sometimes for news outlets, I do. But
those are just for news outlets.
Yeah.
All right, let me see if the colleagues are seeing any of this. This is like one of the first stories, Tori, where we've done it, and I felt like an old guy because I didn't know.
Julia says her algorithms are squeaky clean. I never get any of this stuff. So you guys are very lucky, because
do you find yourself doom scrolling, but unintentionally maybe gore scrolling?
Totally. Yes, I do.
Really?
Yes, I do. And if there's like a 911 call, I'll like listen to it. And you guys know I'm going through like anxiety and depression. And it's like, why would that be? But I'm so numb to so many other things that like only that breaks through. Do you know what I mean? Like the most violent and
it's almost like emotional or like, auditory cutting, because at least you can feel something and it reminds you that you're alive, which is a terrifying and sad thing to say. What's funny is it's so interesting how accurate the algorithm is, because I get 911 calls on my feed, but I'm very into human beings and their tells, especially when it comes to lying and things like that. And I listened to this one guy, and he goes over 911 calls and breaks them down and tells us later if the person was found guilty of lying or not. And just these interesting things, Tori, because if you, God forbid, we're going to kill your wife, right? But you got to act surprised. So you call 911 and you go, "Oh my God, my wife, Tori, fell down the stairs and she's here and she's bloody." If you are not involved in that and you come home and you truly are shocked, you're not going to try and put together a retroactive series of what happened. I would call 911 and say, "My wife is on the ground. She's bleeding."
Exactly. There's no falling down the stairs. There's no explanation.
Yes, it's so interesting, the little tells that people give, the front, just like little words that they say, like even like being polite. Like the operator will be like, "Don't worry, sir, rescue's on the way," and they're like, "Thank you very much." You wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Your partner is on the ground and you're doing niceties. That's somebody that knows that tape is going to be played and wants to sound nice in the courtroom. It's fascinating. So
Yeah.
we get two different kinds of 911 calls. Mine are for smart people. Okay, let's move on. I love you, girl. Tori, I want to talk about this, and I don't. Yeah, let's just put this as a main story for sure. I'm gonna get your thoughts. All right, Tor. Amazon is getting ready to lay off. Let me pick my phone up to make sure I get this number correct. The nation's second largest private employer is reportedly planning to replace 600,000 jobs in what could be one of the largest workplace automations in U.S. history. Hey, we made history, Tori. Talk to me.
Yeah, they're replacing them with robots.
Cool.
Yeah. And so that's 600,000 jobs that are lost now that won't be available to anybody. And I mean, this seems like a Bummer Town podcast, and I'm so sorry, guys, but this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of an automated AI robotic system. We started with Henry Ford and the line, the what is it called?
The assembly line?
The assembly line. And that shortened things and it made it easier, and that went worldwide. And now we have the robots, and it's going to be more and more. They don't have to get paid. There's no unions. Remember the whole thing with unions in Amazon. There's no issues with health. They don't have to pee. They don't have to take breaks. So it's not great. But I do expect a lot more of this, to be honest with you, unfortunately.
Right. Well, Tori, let's step away from Amazon for a second, but just kind of look at the broader picture here. Is this the eventual end product of capitalism? Because it says that their goal with this huge automation is to sell twice as many products, twice as many. Think about how many they sold in 2023. Amazon wants to sell twice as many as they did in 2023, not 2015, 2023. And that just means that the people in the glass conference rooms, 100 miles in the air, that aren't on the ground dropping off dog food, that aren't on the ground, picking up a return lamp, and getting it, or a pinball machine. Like, those are what people have to do. What they do is they sit there and they go, Tori, we made $1 kajillion. And somebody gets up, throws a shoe across the room, spouts off expletives, and says, is that the best you guys can do? Because if we don't double that this year, you're all gone. And so they go back to the drawing board and they said, what's holding us up? And eventually they got to people.
Yeah.
And here we are, Tori. It's almost what we talked about yesterday with the OpenAI. OpenAI was like, hey, we're here for people like Tori, people that might have some questions about mental health, or questions about how the best way to make dinner with the ingredients she has in her refrigerator. And other companies are like, well, we're here for porn, and we're making a lot more money than you. And if you want to keep up with the Joneses or the OpenAIs of the world, you're going to be making porn too. If you want to keep up with other distribution platforms, even Amazon, or you want to keep pushing the pace, you're going to start firing workers and replacing them with robots. So, Tori, I don't know where this is going to go, but I do think that we should go somewhere fun. So let's talk about some famous people. Jesus Christ. Tori, I feel like sometimes we play what famous people are doing, and I'm like, are they famous? This person's famous. Eddie Murphy. Would you argue, before we get to the story, if you had his career, who would you swap careers with?
No one. Eddie Murphy? Are you kidding me?
I think he might have the best ever.
Yeah, I mean, he has one of the longest careers ever, one of the steadiest careers ever, money-making careers ever, and talent-wise, unparalleled, and keeps to himself. I know very little about Eddie Murphy, very, very little. I just know that whenever I see him, I'm happy, I'm laughing, and he's making a ton of money on all those movies, all that. So go ahead.
No, Tori, you led us into the story, because for the first time ever, Eddie Murphy invites the public into his home, revisiting a breathtaking body of work, and just showing us what the life of somebody that famous looks like. It's coming on Netflix. Tori, I will tell you this. I can't wait to watch it. Michael Dean, do we have that trailer or no? I don't.
I've done so many different types of things.
Good morning, my neighbors!
You had that appointment with destiny.
He changed the way we view comedy.
Who took all the money? Shrek.
God damn, this your place?
I started so young. Eddie was right out of high school, but he was just fearless. My stuff took off because they'd never seen a young black person take charge.
The new sheriff in town.
He had the #1 movie, comedy special, and pop song.
It was unprecedented. He's like a miracle.
From stand-up comic to big screen sex symbol. That's what they said. I didn't say it.
He went from being the raw guy to the family guy.
You ate my slice? This is a great house to haunt. Like 100 years from now, I'm gonna be around this motherfucker. I heard him doing that laugh upstairs. Eddie never stops creating. I want to show them that I'm not like anybody in this town. I'm everybody in the scene and everything in between.
He amplified black talent.
He changed the world. Not just American culture, he changed the world.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
He's the best. I think that is inarguable, Tor. It's just like you said something so interesting. He made like big time movies like 48 Hours, Golden Child, Coming to America. But then it seemed like once he started having kids and more kids, he switched right over and started killing it with Shrek, with all those animated
Nutty Professor, Dr. Dolittle.
The Nutty Professor, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but kept himself engaged as an artist because in things like the Nutty Professor, he played all the characters.
Yeah.
He was all of them.
I know. And you can see, I mean, that trailer had Jerry Seinfeld, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, the top echelon of comics look up to Eddie Murphy. That is a very hard thing to do. He's on the Mount Rushmore. And I read a little bit about this. Thank Michael Dean for giving us some background. And his mother said he was so talented with voices from such a young age that she was like a little concerned, like, what is Eddie's voice? Do you know what I mean?
Interesting.
And I think that's fascinating. But he had it like he was blessed. Like God was like, you're going to be funny. And I don't know. I love everyone to write in their favorite Eddie Murphy role or movie. I can't tell you how much the donkey from Shrek makes me happy. I mean, I just really really love the donkey. So I don't know what everyone's favorite Eddie Murphy movie is. But what's your favorite one now?
I mean, the easy get out of jail free is Coming to America. I just thought it was such a funny. It was so funny. The side he was great. He played a white man in that, the white guy in the barbershop, and just like you should change the name outside from Mighty Sharp to the Three Putzes. That's what y'all. Just like it. It's so well done. And you know what I love? The nerd artist in me, which I'm sure you feel as well, is we kind of saw it a little bit with The Rock and the Smashing Machine. There's something within you that once you have a $1 kajillion, you're like, can I still do this for real? Because you see other artists doing projects that aren't nearly as lucrative, but they seem like they're pushing themselves. Eddie Murphy did the thing that very few people, once they reach blockbuster status, do. He did little kind of weird indie movies that worked. He had like movies like Norbit.
Yeah.
These kind of weird. Yeah. What was the other one? Bowfinger. Which
that is a great movie. That is an underrated movie. And
very much so.
Yeah, I didn't know this, but after SNL, and you guys, this is crazy, he could not go downstairs and get a cab because he was a black man in New York City. So he would have a white guy come with him so he could leave SNL. And it's like, imagine being that talented, right? And then having to face all of that. I mean, racism is horrific, blah, blah, blah. But like, he also had to experience all of that, fight through, and become the top person. It's just unbelievable what he's just, I cannot wait for this movie. I cannot wait for this movie.
And really, I'd like to hear his side as well about what happened at SNL the first time. Remember, he came back because once he left, to incredible success. They started taking shots at him when his career went down a little bit. I remember David Spade, another comic that I love. He was doing Weekend Update, and it was his picture in the icon. And he goes, "Look, mommy, a falling star."
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy was like, "All right, bruh." And he relit the fire, and then it came full circle, and he went and hosted it again.
He sure did.
I just do you think there's anything for younger up and coming entertainers to realize that at whatever age he is right now, this is the first time we're getting any kind of glimpse into his life?
I mean,
and
that's what's right.
Maybe to hold back a little bit.
That's what's so interesting is, like I said before, like I don't know anything. I don't know anything about him. I know he has 8 children, and that he's really funny, but he's kept to himself in a way that is incredibly hard to do in today's world. 10 children, excuse me. So yeah, I know nothing about him, and I know everything about everybody else. So very smart man, very smart man.
Tori, I said that we weren't going to talk about anybody more important than Eddie Murphy, but maybe I lied. Tori, did you check out the hoops games yesterday?
I sure did.
Who played?
The Golden State Warriors.
Yes.
Did they really?
Yes, and stay in that state.
And the Lakers.
Baby girl, you killed it. Very good. In between, I think it was maybe even at halftime or pregame of the first game, which was Oklahoma City and Houston, which went to double overtime. First time there's a double overtime game to start the season in a long time. But they aired interviews with Michael Jordan, another person,
someone else we don't hear a lot about, right, Al?
Tell me what you really know about Michael Jordan's personal life. I'm curious.
Well, I watched his documentary, which was phenomenal, although he was the one to like produce it, so it was all in his favor.
Are you talking about The Last Dance?
That's correct, The Last Dance. And I did not know how compulsively competitive he was. Compulsively,
yes.
With gambling, with anything, with anything, he wanted to win in a way that was almost pathological. I mean,
that's the only way that's the only word to use.
Yeah, he was like betting on, can I throw this trash into this cup? Like it had to keep going. I also understand not a lot of people like Michael Jordan, and have had a lot of problems with him. He likes, in my opinion, he will take you down if he doesn't like you. But he's the greatest of all the greats. So he gets away with it, but not always seemingly the best man, and not always politically. He made that famous statement, Republicans buy my shoes too. So he's been very middle of the line in terms of where he stands. But I know very little other than he is that way, where nothing can be, it has to be a win. It has to be a win. And people like that do amazing things, but it must be insane to be in his brain.
Yeah, I mean, Tori, it's kind of Kobe Bryant could be described the same way.
Yeah,
fiercely competitive, would take down and take out teammates that whose competitive fire he didn't respect. Because I think when you're wired like that, you genuinely don't understand any other way to live.
No,
it's just like, why would you go out to the club when you could meet me and we could shoot 1,000 jumpers before midnight?
Yeah,
and everybody else is like, I'd like to go to the club, please.
Yeah.
And it's a reason that they are who they are. I will say this about Michael Jordan. It was the first time that we heard him speak. And Tori, he says that he does not play basketball anymore, but he misses it. He also plans to start paying it forward. I don't know what that means. That can always be very vague. You don't know if that means, are you going to be because you can argue that a lot of times him lending his face into his name to something is more important than him opening his checkbook. I would argue with that. I'd like the money, Michael. Please sponsor. But where do you think that comes from? It seems like people at a certain point in their life either want to retreat and become more reclusive. A lot of authors do that, famous authors. And then other people are like, hey, I might be looking at the back nine of my life. I want to be more out there and pay it forward. What do you think? Where do you think this comes from?
I think it's legacy. I think you start thinking about your legacy and what he wants it to be. And I think he hasn't done very much. I mean, he's done a lot in terms of charity, but he hasn't put his name and face out there to really he's just hidden. He's just kind of been in the background. So I think you start thinking about legacy, and what he wants people to remember him by. And that's important for someone like with that big of a start and a huge, enormous. I also think his father dying was a big moment for him in terms of, I don't know, just about what he wants to be as a father, what he wants to leave behind. And so Michael Jordan's just a really interesting character. And to see that he's not played basketball is like Picasso saying he hasn't picked up a paintbrush. I mean, it's just shocking.
Well, when I hear that he hadn't done that, it made me weirdly think about the movie Aliens 2. And there is a droid in there, and it's synthetic. It looks totally real. It's obviously set in the future, but inside it's all circuitry. And they run into those killer aliens that have been in that float around in space, and it tore him up. And so it was just his head, but obviously he can still talk. He doesn't have a circulatory system. And Sigourney Weaver, I believe, goes, don't worry, we can put you back together. And he goes, please don't. If I can't be what I was, then I don't want to be anything.
Wow.
And I thought that was really interesting, because when it comes to something that's great and strives for perfection, I think being anything less than that is a fate worse than death.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
I'm very curious to see like what he's planning to do, because what a life that he and Eddie Murphy have led. And maybe they were kind of the last of us to show us what it's like to be kind of reclusive. Because when you think about, remember when Oprah and The Rock did that PSA for Hawaii when they had the wildfires and they got all that shit? That's what you have to consider, because people are like, Tori, why don't you lend your fame, your God-given gifts to this project? Because I don't care what it is, we are here with kids in wheelchairs and we're trying to get them 1,000 new wheelchairs by the end of this hour. Beautiful thing, Tori. Guess what your inbox says? Why don't you buy it, rich chick?
Totally.
I'm sorry, I got 2 jobs, so like, do you want to deal with that?
Yeah, that's a great call. I also wanted to say Jag in Arizona. I feel the same way. Billy Joel hasn't written a song for years. He wrote one that I didn't love, but it's so strange when someone who is so prolific in the sport, in the songwriting, just stops. And famously, Sting said, his songs would just roll out, and he hit a moment and nothing was coming out, just nothing. And maybe if you're not going to be the Michael Jordan, you don't want to even pick up the ball. I mean, it could be like you said, if you can't put me back together again the way I was, I don't want to touch it. He's like that competitive about it. So he's just a really complex character. I'd love to see him doing more, I don't know, political work or work for people and be more public, but he's famously just avoided that. So we'll see.
Well, it's because as soon as you go, I'm pro-abortion, I'm anti-abortion,
you lose
half your fans.
For sure.
All right, Tori. Well, let's stay on the competitive tip, shall we? All right, Tori, we're ready for some vibey sports prediction. Tori, I love your dress. I love that.
My what?
Your dress.
Oh, it's pants. It's a little pant and top.
Oh, I love you know what would also look cool with that? Like some earth toned New Balance that are like gray and brown and yellow and not yellow, but like white and green. I think that look cool. All right, Tori.
Mustard and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, I love mustard, and I think you look good in mustard. I used to love your mustard dresses.
I know. Miss Frizzle dresses.
Oh, yeah. All right, Tori. You've been on a little bit of what we call a heater.
Yeah, I got 1 out of 2, I believe, from last week. Is that right?
Good. You got 1 out of 2, and I turned to Sarah, and I was like, Tori was right again. So, Tori, let's see if you can keep the magic going. No professional football games tonight, but we do have one professional basketball game I'd like you to comment, and I want you to give us, since we're not going to be on tomorrow, give us a winner for tomorrow. So my Cleveland Cavaliers are playing their first game. Cavs. going to the Big Apple, New York
Wait,
City.
Cleveland Cavaliers. What about the Cleveland Browns?
They're not the Browns just make me sad. I
Wait,
love
are there
them.
2 teams?
Yeah, the Browns are a football team.
Oh, Cavaliers is a
basketball team. We're gonna have to delete all this. Yeah. Especially since I'm asking you to comment on the team you've just found out existed. They're playing the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden, most famous sports venue we have in this country, going up against Jalen Brunson and them boys. Tori, do you think my Cavs are going to get a win to kick the season off? They're expected to have a good season. Or do you think the New York Knicks and their tough little point guard, who I think you'd love, Jalen Brunson, he's a short guy. He got traded, and he's just been one of the best players in the league, but he doesn't look like it. He looks like a guy that would be like a gym coach at your kid's school and be like, oh, he played Division III basketball, but he's a little guy, but he's really good. So do you think Jalen Brunson is going to take it, or do you think my Cavs kick the year off with a win?
Let me ask you something. Is this the team that Spike Lee is always for?
Yes.
Okay.
Spike Lee will definitely be at the game tonight.
Okay.
Tracy Morgan will be courtside.
Okay. Remember when he got sick? That was crazy. Okay.
John McEnroe. Yeah, a lot of star power there.
Yeah, I got to be honest, because it's star power and it's New York, and this man is named Jalen Brunson.
Yes.
I think we're going to get a Brunson burner, guys. I think he's going to take it all. I think he's totally going to step up to the fame. I think sometimes short kings, they want to live up to their, I think it's Madison Square Garden, the spotlight's on him. And I think the Brunson burner is going to take it. And I think that the Cavaliers are going to be really dizzy from his kind of game. He's going to have a great game. That's what I predict.
All right. Can we have a final score?
Yeah. 101-73.
We're going to get beat like that?
Yeah, right. It's bad.
All right. Look, I'm not here. There he is right there.
Yeah, he's going to be the Brunson burner.
The Brunson burner. All right. Thank you, Michael Dean. Tori, let's move on to the world of football, where where the players play and where Tori likes to play. And you're racking up these dubs, son. Tori, the Minnesota Vikings, with their backup quarterback named Carson Wentz, they are going to go play the Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Tori, the Chargers have had an up and down season, but the Vikings have as well. Their quarterback is a little bit older. He's got a hurt shoulder, but the Chargers, all their offensive linemen, the guys that are designed to block, they are all hurt. So their star quarterback, Justin Herbert, who dates Kylie Bieber, whatever. Wait, who's Michael Dean? Can you look up? He has a famous girlfriend. Who's the model chick? The last name Bieber. Hannah Gerber?
That's Haley Bieber. Are you talking about Kendall Jenner?
I gotta hold on. Let me see. He dates somebody super hot. Justin
Madison Beer.
Yes.
Never heard of that person.
Oh, Michael Dean, can you pop a picture up while we're talking? All right. So, Tori, do you think that it's going to be Justin Herbert, the star rookie quarterback, and his smoking hot smoke show girlfriend that's got a last name like named after something all men love? Or do you think that the Minnesota Vikings are going to come down from Minnesota, don't you know, and take it?
My instinct. Oh, there's Madison Beer. She is pretty. She's gorgeous.
What do you think about him? He's got a little Sons of Anarchy look.
Yeah, for sure. Jax. Yeah, for sure. I like them together. They make a really kind of fun couple. I like that. I bet they look good together.
What were you about to say?
Nothing.
Save that for open AI.
Totally. That's adult erotica. She looks like AI. I mean, she looks like a perfect.
She really does.
She really
which
looks
is a compliment, not a diss. If somebody ever said you look like AI, I'd be like, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, she looks like so symmetrical. I think that it's going to be the Chargers, but it's going to be a really tight game.
Okay. Can we get a score?
I think the shoulder injury on the Minnesota Vikings is going to take place, but I think the Chargers are going to take it by like 1 or 2. So it's going to be like, I don't know. I'm seeing like 32-33. I know that's the Giants Broncos. I know, but I'm just seeing it that close again.
Okay, now Tori, we've gotten your predictions, but we need to know what led you to them. What offensive weapons do you think the Chargers should lean on in this victory?
Their running game.
Which running back should they give the ball to the most, do you think?
Definitely Chad Runner. He's really good and small and sprightly.
I totally agree. I definitely agree. All right, Tori, we are going to move on after what some would call that debacle. Tori, I want to talk about this because we're joking around a lot, but I think this is really kind of a beautiful thing. So where is the... Oh, here's the one. We don't play this one a lot. All right, Tori, we're talking about Demi Moore. Demi Moore reflects on her newly found self-worth. So shout out to you, Demi Moore. It's never too late, baby girl. After the substance success. So she says, I'm not a disappointment. With everything I've been through, which has been a lot, I wouldn't trade it for where I am today. Tori, can you talk to people, especially people that are saying, yeah, Demi, you look smoking hot. You're married to Bruce Willis. You're an A-list actress. You have a beautiful family. You're a multimillionaire. Cry me a river. What would you say to them?
So I think it doesn't, first of all, it doesn't matter. But Demi Moore, first of all, it probably makes it harder. But Demi Moore went from being part of the Brat Pack and hugely famous. I mean, hugely in Ghost, and considered a really, really fine actress. I mean, we're not just talking John Hughes movies. We're talking like beautifully done movies. And she moved up. She did the Vanity Fair cover with her pregnancy. And then remember she then sort of dropped out a little bit and was harder to get some roles. And then she did some facial stuff and it came out really poorly and people just went after her. She went back, fixed it, and decided to do this really independent, artistic, crazy movie called Substance. And it came back that her acting is very, very good. And so with that confidence, I think she says, my legacy is not a disappointment. I'm not it's not that. She says, if something didn't go exactly as I'd like or wasn't what I'd hoped for, yeah, that was a disappointment, but I'm not a disappointment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's kind of honestly the way I look at my DBL career. I'm very proud of what we did. I was disappointed because it ended and I felt like we still had a lot more to say.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And I think that's kind of it's a certain level of maturity that you don't get with just like putting candles on a birthday cake. It takes a lot of self-work and like working through these feelings of like, why do I still feel like shit? I've achieved everything that I wanted to do.
Totally. And I got to be honest, I feel like this right now. I feel 1000% like a disappointment. Like I could not feel more like a disappointment for my personal life, for my career, for where I thought I'd be in life with not having children. I feel like all I think about is disappointment. And what's interesting to me is that on the subset side of Demi Moore, she also was a caregiver and beautifully transitioned Bruce Willis through aphasia and all of that with a new wife, right? And kept her kids extremely close to Bruce Willis. So I consider anyone who does that a beautiful person. That takes, I know experience-wise as a caregiver, that is a horrifically difficult thing to do. But I like that she's being so open about this because I think women of a certain age felt like there weren't roles for them, and that was disappointing. And now we're seeing
Tori,
more and more
that was my point.
But
that she comes from that era.
Yeah.
Like now we live in the Netflix, Tubi, streaming, Pluto, whatever, Hulu. There's a million. Hallmark has a channel. All these actresses that, female actors that would have been put out to pasture now have 4 scripts in front of them. But when Demi Moore got her facial surgery done, if you were a lead female actor, what would you say your shelf life was before there was a new one?
Oh,
4 years?
35, you're done. Yeah, before you're done at 35 years old. Like you're done.
Right.
40, you're no way. And then, we see Meryl Streep and we see all these people and they're starting to be roles for them. And there are people watching because women are that age and want to see it. Jean Smart in Hacks, things like that, where there's juicy, good, developed role. You're not just the mother or the grandmother, like substance was really, I think, a big boost from her. I also think that Ashton Kutcher, that's a good point. Damn, she's cute. Breaking up from him was a good thing. That was a whole weird era for Demi.
Yeah, I definitely, and I think that's part of you trying to hang on to your youth. Who's the hot young guy? And let me latch my star to him and it'll make me relevant. Because I'm sure for as much as we're having this conversation, she was having conversations with her agent screaming on a gigantic cell phone in 1989, 1993, maybe. Hey, you're on the way down. Yeah. Or maybe your agent isn't even taking your calls anymore.
Yes.
Because they've got a new starlet. So that causes you to panic and do crazy, weird things to your face. All right, Tori, let's do this one. We haven't done this in a while. All right, Tori, we got some burning questions. I got one for you. I don't know if you know this, but Mariska Hargitay reveals that she auditioned for the iconic role on Friends that ended up being played by brunette, what's her face?
Oh my God.
I don't know. I'm a black man. I don't know anything about Friends.
So she tested over and over again for the role of Monica.
Played by
Courtney Cox.
Yes, very
and ended up being on Law and Order, which is now the longest running show of all time. I couldn't see her as Monica, but that's because Friends was so well casted in my mind.
Right.
But Mariska has had a very interesting life too, with her mother and the death of her mother, Jane Mansfield.
We interviewed her, yes.
Yeah, she's a really interesting character. She ended up where she should be with SVU. She's amazing.
And works with SA survivors in real life.
Exactly, yeah. So Courtney Cox was in, I don't know if you guys know, like Ace Ventura. Like she's real funny.
She was in Wild Things as well, right?
I think so, yeah. But I wondered if we could ask... oh, Marcy gave me $3 for your gummy bears. That's so nice.
That's
Thank
super
you.
Sweet.
Thank you, Marcy.
Well, Tori, I made this a burning question because I wanted to know, knowing what you know now, you hop in a time machine and your agent points to one door and it's Law and Order and the other door is Friends. Law and Order is longevity, ubiquitous with crime drama shows, or Friends, incredible 10-year run on the Mount Rushmore of televised comedies. Do you want the Law and Order legacy? There's a lot more shoots, a lot more everything. Or do you just want to do a hot 10 and get out?
I immediately would think Friends.
I would see you there. Yes.
I would want to be on Friends because the writing is so good. Martha Kaufman. It's sort of the best of the best of the best. And there isn't another sitcom like it. So I know, by the way, it was stolen from what was it stolen from?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. What is that?
With Kim Fields.
Yeah. And we interviewed them and they were the first Friends. This black comedy that I don't know why I can't think of the name of.
Neither do I. I'm going to get my black card yanked. Oh my gosh.
Living Single. Thank you so much, you guys.
All right, I got it. I swear I didn't look.
So I'm very aware that show's concept was already on with Living Single, and I always want to give credit to that. But there was something magical about Friends, and I just think the writing was perfection, and so I would want to be on Friends. What about you, Al?
I think I would want
Law and Order.
Yeah, but Law and Order just seems like
a slog.
I mean, now granted, you're not going to be on all 27 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
And the other thing about Law and Order is Friends is going to come and go, but Law and Order, them checks are long is all outdoors. Your kids are going to be getting that mailbox money. So maybe you just say, because I mean, it's not like you're really stretching every show. You walk up, stand over a dead body and just think about, I have a friend of mine as a comic. And he told me early in my career, because I had a college show, and I was like, oh, colleges, they're so tough. The kids don't laugh. And he goes, Al, grow up. You go up there, you start talking in the mic, and all you do is think about the money. And that's how I would do it with Law and Order. But I think Friends, it's just so iconic. But so is Law and Order. And ironically, you were on Law and Order. You traitor. You already did it.
I was on CSI, which is kind of an offshoot.
It still counts in my book. Tori, before we get up out of here, remember, guys, if you're in Minnesota, come see me this weekend, and make sure come here tomorrow and check out the interview with my girl Tanya. You will not regret it. Tori, what you got for us? All right.
Okay. I don't know if you guys are going to like this one, but the letter Q is in not one of the state's names.
I guess so.
Okay, he doesn't like that. Michael Dean said lame. Okay, should I do another one?
That was, yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Wait, is Z in any of them?
I
don't think so.
That's a good call.
Arizona.
Oh, good call. That's very good. Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Today, Junior.
When platypi sweat, they sweat milk.
Wait, are you talking about platypus?
Platypi.
Multiple platypuses. I want to make sure I get this right. They sweat milk. That sounds like something you say when you're coming off of whatever drug you took going into the music festival. And I'd be like, let's get Tori to the van. Okay.
They do. They sweat milk. Sean Ketter just goes, ew.
Yeah. That's Tori's disgusting fact of the day. We appreciate you following the show. We know you won't be here tomorrow or any more days. But if you want to hear more disgusting facts, tune in. For real, guys, make sure to check out my interview with my girl Tanya tomorrow. It's our first Friends from Work interviews. And we will see y'all on Monday, and we'll have announcements of all the new things going down. All right. Love y'all. Michael Dean, take us out.